There's been some talk about potentially firing the Fed chair. And I think probably people need to be educated on how the Fed really only has two things that they need to do. They need to keep unemployment low, and they need to manage inflation. It's called the dual mandate. Now, some people may actually think that Chair Powell just has broad authority to set policies around that, and that by firing him or replacing him, then everything's good. That person can make good decisions that a given administration likes. Folks, there's something called the FOMC, which has 12 voting members and 7 members that come into the discussion when we're talking about policies around rates. 12 of them have to vote for a rate increase to occur. No one person, including the chair, can influence that unless there's a consensus. So if anybody thinks that firing Chair Powell is going to change their focus and their method on the dual mandate, simply they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how this whole process works. And I hope they do. Because the consequence of firing a Fed chair just because political people don't agree with that economic decision will be to undermine the credibility of the United States going forward. And I would argue if it happens, you're going to see a pretty immediate response. And we've got to avoid that. Look, I've had problems with Chair Powell, but at the end of the day, I respect him and I respect the independence of the Fed. And if anybody thinks that it'd be a good idea for the Fed to become another agency within the administration subject to whatever the president's advisors want them to do, they're making a huge mistake, and they really need to study how that process works. Thank you, Mr. Chair.